This is Dave the Caveman. You're listening to 5 Round MMA.
Hello there and welcome. This is 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside me is Albert Sita and Guillermo Sita. And I want to thank you for joining us for entering the championship rounds, you guys might say, right?
Yeah.
We've got a pretty good show today. We're going to talk about UFC Fight Night, Maia versus Shields. Hopefully you guys didn't fall asleep during that main event because I had trouble staying awake during that one.
I was wide awake for that fight.
Yeah? Okay.
I was excited because I knew that Jake Shields was going to win that fight because of
Excited and Jake Shields should never go into the same sentence whatsoever. Also, later on, we're going to talk about UFC 166, Velasquez versus Dos Santos. The epic rivalry will come to an end, right? How will it all end? It's like the Dark Knight trilogy. How's it going to end,
Didn't
right?
you read an article saying that there were going to be like 5 fights between them?
Yeah, well, I'm sure there
And
will
they already
be.
signed up for a new Batman movie too. So.
Yeah, so I'm pretty, it's never going to end in the never-ending rivalry, but we'll get to that a little later on. But let's talk some UFC Fight Night. I want to kind of preface my question to you guys with the story before I ask you. So Fight Night was on a Wednesday. I went to a sports bar after work to watch his happy hour, so it's kind of packed.
Yeah.
I asked the bartender to switch it for me. He's like, "What channel is the Fox Sports 1 on?" So I started kind of telling you,
Was
like,
there any baseball going on at
yeah,
that time?
I think there was one baseball game going on. I think the Pirates versus the Cardinals, like Game 5. A couple hockey games were on. So I asked him to change it. He changes the one, like the smallest TV behind the bar for me. So I'm sitting there watching it, like, I have a couple drinks. And the bar's pretty crowded. It is a happy hour. And I have a couple guys sitting next to me asking me questions about mixed martial arts and like how it's basically, I know we don't get it. I'm over boxing guy myself. And then, no, it's great stuff, great action. And then, like, no, I kind of just think it's like just two guys hugging each other.
Well,
and then I look up on the screen, and it's Jake Shields
And
lying on top of Damian Maia. And I thought to myself, how do you sell this to people who want to maybe enjoy mixed martial arts, but like,
Well, if they would have
It's
saw the
boring.
Dong Yang Kim fight versus Eric Silva, that was pretty exciting. I mean, Dong Yang Kim was like wanting to, go toe to toe with Eric Silva. I mean,
That's
like,
true.
so if they would have saw that fight compared to the Damian,
but the
Maia,
Damian Maia and Jake Shields was the main event. This was headline. They had the interviews. They were on the posters, and this is what we get. I mean, it's like, are fights like that good for MMA growth and popularity wise, you think? Because I know Dana White thinks that this is going to be eventually the world's most popular sport, but are fights like that helping or hindering its process?
I think it's hindering it because if you look at it, how can you be excited for the next Jake Shield fights?
No, that's true.
And- I mean, if you said it yourself, is like if you're not excited for him laying on Damian Maia, how can you be excited for the next fight?
yeah,
So I mean, like, what's next for Jake Shields? That's the real question.
yeah.
I mean, who do you put him against? He's already fought GSP and he got out wrestled.
Yeah, he's lost to Jake Ellenberger too. But I mean, Albert, what do you think? I mean, obviously, I almost kind of think like the UFC was hoping Damian Maia would show off his jiu-jitsu skills against Jake Shields.
I think
Was
I was
that
just
it?
a little upset in general, just because Eric Silva lost.
I'm crossing the line
We'll
right
get
here.
there.
I'm making that line in the sand. If I hear one bad stun gun reference or pun, like, oh, Eric Silva was stunned, I'm having Stephen cut off your guys' audio. Because I'm sick of those stun gun puns whatsoever. Eric Silva was stunned last night. No, I'm drawing the line right now.
Well, the funny thing is, I was in Vegas for a fight night too. Not this fight night, but a previous one. And I had to ask him to change the channel
you go to
too.
Vegas?
And then they put it in the smallest screen too.
Yeah.
And that was in Vegas. So I found that funny. But it was a typical Jake Shields fight. I mean, if you look at his previous fights,
Yeah.
none of them have been fight of the night.
Yeah.
So obviously, even the UFC is confirming that Jake Shields isn't an exciting fighter. And
They're just hoping he loses.
yeah, and what's sad about this match is it didn't even really feel like a jiu-jitsu match either. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like you can be like, oh, but the beauty of jiu-jitsu, because it was the
It was
beauty.
all
It was the
nullified.
beauty of hugging. That's what it was. It wasn't.
So like I have like so fighters like obviously John Finch couldn't cut in the UFC for his fighting style, but like what makes obviously GSP has the exact same style as these guys, right?
Yeah.
But what makes it more marketable
before,
than like
before we move on to
Well, marketable. Now you're getting into a different question. I mean, like, this guy's like on GQ magazine.
yeah, but I mean it's the same style. Ben, we're gonna say Albert.
I just want to point out that if you remember, Dana White was very highly of Jake Shields. He made he made sure to make it a big deal that they signed Jake Shields. He made a big deal to be right next to
He was
Jake
next to
Shields
him, right, yeah.
in the event. And then this is the fighter you back up. You back yourself
It's almost
up
like
on.
I think like Dana White saw this guy's like on an 18 fight win streak. Oh, let's sign him without ever seeing him
without
fight.
even seeing him fight once. So yeah, there you go.
But I mean, obviously, it's proven in the past that the UFC is not willing to back fighters with this kind of style. Obviously, John Finch, Yushin Okami was just recently released because his style. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you guys think? But what? Ben Askren, does he have a chance?
And keep in mind, and Dana White always said that I like seeing exciting fighters that finish.
Yeah.
If you look at Jake Shields, the last I'm just looking at the 10 right here. Decision. He lost by TKO. Decision.
You know, but fighters like that, you just gotta stay winning.
Yeah.
Because then there's no.
No, but this
he
the
waited
whole,
till John
like,
Fitch lost.
Yeah, true.
But
But
this
I
is
mean,
the whole like Dana White. Oh, I love exciting fighters, and we're always on the back of exciting fighters, and he backed him up, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I see a lot of decision wins and no stoppages.
Yeah.
So.
But I think, obviously, I think GSP has the exact same style, but like you said, he is more marketable. I think, you ever notice when they show GSP, it's always just him training and all the unique training methods he has before fights. You think that kind of helps him in his popularity? Like, oh, this guy, look how much gymnastics he does. So there's opportunity he might do something explosive in a fight, but then it ends up just being another lay and pray performance.
It's all mind game. I'm telling you. GSP's like, GSP, I want you to see me do this backflip real quick, but I'm still gonna put you on your back.
That's what it is, basically.
Yeah.
But I guess hopefully no more Shields in the main
But
event.
before we move on, I want to make a big point because I think there's a big difference between Shields, Fitch, and Askren.
Yeah.
And the fact that Shields and Fitch and even GSP still consider themselves like an MMA fighter.
Okay.
Like they'd say, no, I could take the fight anywhere. I'm an all-around fighter,
That's
whatever.
true. Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's the part that rubs people the wrong way. That's why I think these guys don't really have a huge fan base like they could have. While Askren actually, not only does he accept it,
But
he tells you, like, look, listen, I'm going to put you in the back. And let's see what you can do. But you're going to do nothing anyways. I'm going to put you in the back. And I think that's the major difference. And that's why I think Askren is good for the sport. Because he tells it how it is, and there is no secret hidden agenda here. While the other guys are trying to sell you, no pun intended, wolf tickets, and saying that we're gonna stand up, or I'm gonna show you a new Jake Shields, I'm gonna show you a new GSP. When in reality, it's the same guys in every fight.
Yeah, it's personality sells, right?
Yeah, but if you can't stop it, they're gonna keep going with it. I mean, like Jake Shields
true. But then
is getting them victories. Why
But
would he go any other way?
That's why it's not good for MMA. But when Askren says something like that, I think it is good for MMA because there's no hidden agenda, and he's pretty much, it's almost like a challenge, and that's what people love. Like the people like to see, like, oh, let's see the challenge. I mean, he's daring anybody. I'm gonna take you down, try to figure it out, because that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
You gotta admire that confidence. So moving on from the Maia versus Shields, also big news from that night was Rousimar Palhares was making his welterweight debut against Mike Pierce. As made people's surprise, not surprise, he got the heel hook in within 30 seconds, but didn't let go in time, accordingly to the UFC and Mike Pierce and the official for that bout. So instead of being fined or suspended, he received a lifetime ban from the UFC. Do you guys think it was the right call?
See, this just brings up the whole, like, how in reality, like, as big as the UFC is, at the end of the day, it's laughable when they try to compare themselves to the MLB, the NFL, the NHL, because all these organizations, guess what? They have, like, stuff written that says if this happens, this is the outcome.
It's almost like paperwork.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, in this case, it's even more of a joke because there's no, like, cross the board penalization.
There's like review process.
And to me, it's laughable when I see stuff like this because two things I see. One, you're nowhere near these organizations because you don't have this type of policy in place.
Yeah.
And that's just black and white. There's no there's no disputing. It's black and white. You have to have a policy.
Yeah.
That's why it's laughable. The second thing that's laughable is that it undercuts, like, when you hear Dana White promoting a fight and says, "Oh, Palhares, man, this is the kid to watch. He's an exciting fighter, this and that," and then you easily cut him. He wasn't really exciting, was he? Then he wasn't really a need for the UFC, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he shouldn't even been in the main card because obviously he was expendable, correct?
Yeah.
So those two reasons makes it very laughable that Dana White claims he should be in the same category as these other big organizations.
Yeah.
When they don't even have a policy, which is the basic thing you can do.
Now, Guillermo, you grew up playing sport soccer that's kind of known for some dirty tactics.
Well,
I mean, there's some dirty players in every sport, right? But
I was gonna bring up 2 points. One thing is since I have a soccer background, you go with the yellow card, red card. and my second point, which
is a policy.
which is Nick Diaz, actually. His promotion doesn't it have yellow card, red card?
I think they're gonna. They're kind of like the pride is where they penalize a person for not acting right, for not doing enough action in the ring.
And then it goes to their purse too.
Yeah. So I think that can take into effect because in soccer, when you're doing something illegal or like let's say something a foul, you get a yellow card. If it's excessive foul, you get a red card. You can't play anymore. That game. I don't know why. Like in this instant, to me, it's a. Maybe a red card because
they're saying like Palhares has a track record of not letting go.
Yeah,
this isn't the first time
he is known for that, and he did hold on a little bit longer than he should have, and he could have really hurt the other fighter.
In his defense, he did say he had troubles in the past with like letting go submissions.
But at the same time, if there's not a policy there, how does a fighter go into a fight saying like how long can I really like if they said right there in the UFC rule book if you hold on after the tap, you will be fined $50,000. I bet you there will be no.
But to me, that's a little bit more discretion of the referee instead of being a policy. I agree. Like let's say 3 red cards equals a fine for this or
it should have been like that or made the referee give him a red or something.
If the referee feels he's gonna hurt the fighter even more, maybe like in soccer, if you're gonna compared to soccer, you're gonna get a red card. Hey, you lost this fight because you got this red card, and because to me, a lifetime ban for in the UFC is a little bit more excessive than I mean, like he didn't really break his ankle or anything like that. I do agree that there should be punishment along with it, but
and let's just switch it around. What if John Bone Jones would have hold I don't know Chael Sonnen's arm a little no Vitor Belfort's arm a little bit longer?
It would have been the fighting. It's about the market.
Yeah,
it's about the market.
That's what I'm saying. I bet you won't have a lifetime ban.
Yeah, I think going to your policy thing, I think it's a lack. There is no union in mixed martial arts, so there's no appeal process. There is no precedent for this. Well, this guy got
then they should then that's where your baseball background comes. NBA, NHL should stay out of Dana White's mouth. It's what it should happen. When Dana White talks about organization, he should never compare himself to those sports.
It's that union
because
factor.
That's what I think it's to me is the more irritating part. Don't put yourself in that league or in that level. If you're not willing to play the real game, you know what I mean? Don't take the good, just the good. You got to take the good and the bad. Yeah. And if you can't do both, then just shut up about it.
Because how many times we hear on ESPN a guy gets suspended or gets kicked out of a game, he appeals the suspension.
Yeah.
It's because of all the union stuff, but you can't do that here in the UFC.
That's true. And it doesn't matter if you're a top athlete in other sports. I mean, like think about it. I mean, if you're the top athlete and you get fined or something like that. Let me give you an example. The Von Miller from the Denver Broncos. Yeah. He got fined. It didn't matter who you are. You're getting, it was the PED. You violated the rules. You're suspended for 4 games. Goodbye.
Yeah, I wish you could say the same for baseball now, but they got a witch hunt gets A-Rod.
Supposedly he's suing.
Well, this is my first offense, so technically I should get a 50-game suspension. Like, no, we have evidence saying that you've admitted use before and you have tampering our investigation, so a lifetime ban or 200 games. But
yeah, because I think that's a good point. Like, let's say it wasn't Palhares. Let's say it was John Bone Jones.
Yeah. Or like
what if he got the UFC lifetime ban?
No way. He would have got suspended at all.
He would have got.
They would have ruled it a no contest.
Yeah, he would have got the Matt Mitrione,
Matt Hamill thing. The Matt Hamill thing.
Yeah.
You're suspended until the next fight. All right. Yeah. Go ahead, take your 3-4. You're not gonna fight for 3 to 4 months, but we booked you for the 5th month.
So you think there's a lot of favoritism when it comes
definitely.
to?
No, that's why. That's exactly why he says I'm gonna do it case by case basis. Basically, what he's saying is, are you my friend? Are you good? Are you making me money?
Well,
then I'll decide how I'm gonna
take. For example, I know we always keep going back to this, but like when Miguel Torres' tweet.
Yeah,
and then like, later on the week,
you could do a laundry list of other fighters like Forrest Griffin, Rashad Evans that done.
Rashad Evans talks about the Penn State where they're molesting children. That's a fine joke. But Miguel Torres can't reference a television show.
Yeah. Which later on promoted the UFC.
Yeah.
So
didn't who came out on the show?
Chael Sonnen came out in one of the promos. Yeah. So there you go.
It's just unionization. More, I think.
We might be
consistency. I know.
Don't say unionization.
Don't say union. No. That's.
I'm already going to form the FiveRoundMMA union. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know what are the benefits for that.
There's no benefits.
Anything else you guys want to talk about UFC Fight Night? I mean, I know we were pretty high on Eric Silva, but that
I don't know if he wants to bring up.
No, I don't even want to talk about it. We can go. We can go to a commercial break now.
All right, commercial break. We'll dissect some UFC 166 Velasquez and Dos Santos, the heavyweight rivalry to end all heavyweight rivalries. So stick around, guys.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
All right, welcome back. This Saturday, October 19th, is UFC 166 in Houston, Texas. Velasquez versus Dos Santos 3. The end of the trilogy, right? Is that the promoting? The end of the rivalry? How it all end?
They're promoting it that way, but the way Junior Dos Santos talks, even if he loses, I think he wants Cain Velasquez again.
Like I haven't seen any of the countdowns, and forgive me for not seeing the countdowns, but
it's called prime time.
Oh, prime time. Oh, prime time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But how are they selling this fight? I mean, because both, in my opinion, first fight was over that quick, one-sided. Second fight was over. I mean, it wasn't over, but like it was one-sided. So how are they promoting this fight for me to believe that? I think
Albert can answer this question for you.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think the UFC has a different view of how they're promoting this. Okay. But it's really entertaining how
I know obviously they're both the top 2 heavyweights in the world, but look back at their first 2 fights. They're not very entertaining. The first one ended in the first round. The second one was a 5-round beatdown.
But it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
But I know, but like,
I mean, I'll pay $100.
I lost my voice.
Oh, obviously, because we're all Cain Velasquez. But like, I can understand if the first 2 fights were like John Jones versus Gustafsson, then okay, this third one's going to be good. Or it's something to anticipate. It's not epic. It's just it's 2 guys who won each in their decisive style.
Well, before we continue on, I'm going to be hosting the Cain Velasquez fight.
Official Cain Velasquez party?
Yeah, Cain Velasquez party.
Before
so you guys are invited.
Party, during the party, and after
Yeah,
party.
we're gonna have a taco man.
Yeah.
A piñata maybe.
Yeah,
too.
we're gonna have a piñata with JDS's head on it. And it's nothing like offensive because we're just gonna do what Cain Velasquez is gonna do to him that same day. So.
Okay.
But explain primetime to Alex.
Primetime pretty much breaks down to this.
Okay, I haven't seen this episode.
Junior Dos Santos and his doctors because he overtrains.
Second fight he overtrained, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then pretty much him and his camp go on a ramp saying that Cain Velasquez hits like a girl. And then this is the funny part. This is his argument on why there should have been a third fight because what he did to Cain Velasquez in 1 round, Cain Velasquez couldn't do to him in 5 rounds.
Wow.
But really think about that.
Look at that. His hat, like everyone says, his hat didn't fit.
Yeah, his hat didn't fit after the fight.
So I don't understand. So he's okay with getting the crap kicked out of him for 5 rounds.
As long as he survives the fight.
Yeah, and then have the audacity to be like, see, you couldn't knock me out.
You know who would be good to have on this, like to talk about this is Jason. He's
Jason
such
Hendricks.
a Junior Dos Santos fan.
It's because they have the same IQ level.
A JDS fan, or the fact that he doesn't like Cain Velasquez?
I think because he doesn't like Cain Velasquez. But
no, I'm telling you, I think fans stick to their fighters with the same IQ level. I have seen it. I mean, right away, I know when someone's a Diaz fan. You can tell right away.
As soon as
our friend Jason Hendricks is a Diaz fan.
Yeah,
Jason's gonna call in any minute now. Watch.
Yeah.
But let's say if I'm not a JDS fan or I'm not a Cain Velasquez fan, I'm just an MMA fan. Why should I watch this fight when the first 2 fights were completely one-sided? Like, am I gonna get my money's worth?
Yes, you
this
are.
time around.
Yes, you are.
Are you speaking as a Cain Velasquez fan or an MMA fan?
MMA fan.
Okay,
just
why?
because they're heavyweights.
Okay.
And heavyweights.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Even though you're gonna either see a knockout, I'm pretty sure there will be a knockout this fight. I mean, the second fight, which went all 5 rounds,
was a one-sided beatdown.
It was a one-sided beatdown, but the knockout never came. But you sensed it, and I think that potential of a knockout is always there. And as an MMA fan, you want to see an exciting fight. You want to see the knockout. The first one, there was a knockout, 30 seconds in. So, I mean, like, I think as an MMA fan, you are going to see some explosiveness. You're going to see a power punch.
If I was the promoter, the way I would sell it to, like, the non-fans out there was, like, we clearly had 2 dominant victories.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to find out who technically
is the best.
I mean, it's a rubber match, and I think even if you look at like other big rivalries in other sports, I mean, even in tennis, I mean, Rafa now put a beating on the number
Federer.
1 Federer, and Federer did vice versa.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still want to see them match up because you want to clearly see who is the winner. You know.
I think it's funny that he brings up tennis.
Well, you play tennis.
Yeah, I know.
First of all,
I know.
tennis is probably one of the most grueling sports
he's
out there.
speaking from his past experience.
Yeah.
I just want to know is like
I'm not talking about football. I never played football in my life.
people always talk about like this being a great heavyweight.
How's your forearm?
I got pretty good forearms, man.
It's them kettlebells, homie.
You know.
People talk about like this.
And by the way, Dan Hardy has some good kettlebell workouts.
His
If you guys are
workouts.
interested, go to YouTube, type in Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy kettlebells.
Yeah, and it's called like Wolf Cam or something. They're pretty good.
People talk about JDS and Cain as a great heavyweight rivalry, but what about the epic one? People forget Sylvia and Arlovsky. Was that not an epic rivalry back in the day?
that's-
Is that the same on the same
It was
scale
for
as
Albert.
JDS and Dos Santos?
He has a legitimate point.
See,
Because look, Tim Silva knocked out Arlovsky for a clear win, and I think Arlovsky submitted Silva really fast too. So there was like two clearly winners in both matches. And so
All you really gotta say to Albert is, look at the Arlovsky beard.
yeah, there you go. He's been rocking it since 04.
But I don't have the Arlovsky chin, all right?
Let me check under that beard.
Yeah, let me look under real quick. Arlovsky beat Sylvia in their first bout submission.
See?
And then the next
He gets
two
knocked
times,
out, right?
Yeah, the next time was a TKO win for Sylvia, and then the third fight went to decision, which Sylvia won. And they
Dang,
also
we should have saw a fourth fight then.
actually we did.
Oh, whoa!
And,
This is an epic. This is an epic.
They fought for the fourth time in
And
August.
then
in August.
Arlovsky won this time. So technically, we should see
Actually,
a fifth fight.
no. They won. It was in the Philippines in August of 2012. It was a no contest due to illegal kicks.
What the?
Who did the illegal kicking?
It just said no contest.
So they fought 6 times then?
4 times.
4 times. Do you think Cain Velasquez
We didn't
and
see
Junior
that fifth
Santos
fight then.
Yeah.
we'll get to 4 or 5 fights?
Wait, sure. I'm pretty sure they fought in.
They fought again?
Yeah, they fought in. What do you call it? That other organization.
Strike Force?
I think,
Elite
I
XC?
know. I think it was in World Series of Fighting.
No
No,
way.
No.
there's no way.
No, why you look that up?
Well, I looked at it. You guys go ahead and debate stuff.
I think after this fight, whoever win or lose is going to at least 2 fights away from another title
No,
shot.
yeah, you're right.
Because the
You're
winner,
right, you're
the
right,
winner
you're
of this fight is going to get Verdun no matter what.
Yeah,
the
you're right.
guy's waited. He's going to get a shot.
You're right.
You're going to get Verdun no
Oh,
matter
yeah,
what.
you're right. It was that.
I
It was
think
a no contest.
I think if Junior Dos Santos wins, he will not give Cain Velasquez ever a rematch.
No matter what.
No
Man,
matter
I want
what.
to see that fifth fight then.
This guy. Come down, Arlovsky.
I need to go and call some who owns Orlovsky's with World Series of Fighting now, right?
Yeah.
I need to go call and make sure.
Go
this,
call Ray
this,
Cepho and tell him, get
I
on.
gotta see this fifth fight. I mean,
And
Then
that
they-
needs to end, right?
they-
We'll end
yeah.
that rivalry, and then we'll end the JDS Velasquez, right? And then the winners face each other. How about
it
that?
almost reminds me of Stargate Continuum. They left
Where is
me
this
with,
coming
no,
from?
Because they left me without an answer.
Whoa.
I mean, the series.
There's too many
the series
Stargates
is
to begin with.
Yeah,
Okay, but there's a reason because we never find out where the Stargate
Is
came
this the one
from.
with or without Kurt Russell?
This one without Kurt
Oh, I
Russell.
haven't seen it then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we still don't know where the Stargate came from. So I feel like we need to find out.
That's
And
true.
I think right here we know that these guys are teleporting back and forth, but
Who's the better
Yeah.
fighter?
Tim
10 years
Silva
later.
or Arlovsky.
Arlovsky. But like, so you don't think JDS will give if he wins?
I don't think JDS will ever give him the rematch. I beat him the first in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He couldn't finish me in the fifth, so I'm the better fighter.
And
And, then I beat him again.
Yeah.
There's no way he's in
He'll
my
probably
level.
be like, oh, like no, he hasn't beat worthy opponents, stuff
Exactly.
like that. Beat-
And if it's the other way around where Cain Velasquez win,
Yeah, I
Junior
think
Dos
Cain won't
Santos is
fight
going to be
anybody.
like, well, you know what? It's because maybe I wasn't training correct or I wasn't doing this correct. I'm the best fighter because I knocked him out the first round in 30 seconds.
I know we're already over the Silva thing, but let me
Yeah.
just add one thing. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Oh, my goodness.
People were actually campaigning for him to be in TNA.
Tim Sylvia
Yeah,
as what Aces of 8 or what?
I guess because that's
the
what they
main event
assume.
mafia.
I mean,
Where's your source here?
Yeah.
I don't-
Wikipedia?
I didn't say where the source is from.
So,
Check out him in Abyss or what? In a no
And
holds
he's,
barred match.
he's also a police officer part time. He does 1 day a month.
Tim Sylvia.
Yeah,
Try to get on
for the
that,
state of Illinois.
Try to get on that Steven Seagal.
Yeah, trying to get that Steven Seagal
schedule.
status.
I just do 1 day a week and stuff.
UFC 166.
Yeah, I think
What a stack card.
from Albert, you made the point that the,
Oh, no, yeah.
on the Facebook on the
This
the
card-
prelims.
This is truly what's even sad too is Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos deserve to be on the cover and
Yeah.
get in the forefront, but they're like missing out on such a huge event here, and I think they need to promote it as like this event is so huge that people that have been in the main and co-main event or in the preliminary cards. From the first preliminary card to the last one, which is Stropopoulos and Casey Nunes. Both guys are main event and co-main event fighters.
In their past,
and all the way up to Tim Bulge and CB Dalloway. And you still have Hector Lombard and a Marquardt. Sarah Kaufman was probably, other than Misha Tate and Ronda Rousey, one of the best women's MMA fighter. And all of them in the prelim cards. And I don't think they're fighting the stackness of this.
The stackness. Is that a word?
Of this card.
You've been reading too much Wikipedia.
This card is officially stackness so big that it had to be held in the state of Texas. UFC 166.
Hey, let's make a road trip.
They always say they're bigger. What's it? There's always bigger things in Texas.
Yeah,
or?
Something like that, right? Yeah.
Well, this card's pretty big.
Texas.
Let's go to Texas. Let's go to Houston.
I think you spend enough time for Houston for all of us.
Yeah, I know. Too bad I can't be there on a Saturday.
I know.
Well, before we move on,
anything else you guys want to talk about during that card? I know it's a stack card.
Real quick, before I get into my pick, I know Guillermo wants to always talk about Gabriel Gonzaga and his favorite Sean Jordan.
Sean Jordan.
So do you want to have any comments real quick before I get to the good fights?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to talk about what's it called, because I'm watching the prime time is Daniel Cormier. He's a co-main event.
Oh yeah, I think I read too. Win or lose, that he's dropping down the light heavyweight no matter what. So
yeah, I think
I think he's still trying to just squeeze in the last fight before he's like, oh man, dude, it's gonna be such a tough.
Hey,
but, I'm not saying he can't do the cut, but I think he's trying to watch just because he's like, man, it's gonna be so tough when I get back down there.
And
so
who's to say how long it will take him too?
Yeah, so I think he really wants
going.
just one more.
But to me, the reason I'm becoming such a big Daniel Cormier fan, he's an awesome coach.
No,
if you watch the prime time. Oh my goodness!
He puts
you haven't seen it, but I'm telling you, him and Cain Velasquez, like you see their training session compared to Junior Dos Santos' training session. It's the same thing from the first prime time for JDS.
And it's inspiring to see someone like Daniel, where like they're as I mean, they love fighting just as much as they love coaching.
Yeah,
I mean, he puts in the same work ethic when it comes to fighting as it is to coaching.
That's a great point.
And I think it's very impressive, and I think it says a lot about him.
Yeah, just from watching the clips, not because maybe they're because the camera's there. I got to do this and this, but Daniel Cormier is like leading the practice, and he'll go up to Cain Velasquez. Hey,
he truly does.
Come on,
love
let's go
wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's go run faster. Let's go run harder. And then he goes on their training sessions. If you see just a little bit, they actually go at it.
Yeah.
I mean, and supposedly they go for an hour.
Yes.
Well, we're getting close to closing time here, so let me real quick. Darren Montague, I want to point out too, is making his debut.
Southern California fighter.
We've had him here on the show. He's
actually.
I hope Jason Hendricks is listening to this and he can help promote this fight.
Yeah, since he did scratch his back. But Darren Montague, I mean, is making his debut. He's a known fighter here locally.
No easy task against John Dodson.
Yeah, and he has a tough task in front of him, which is John Dodson. But I really think people need to really watch his fight. Win or lose,
we've seen him live. And he's pretty impressive,
exciting fighter.
Pretty explosive too.
Yeah, explosive too. So yes, you watch out for Darren Montagues, and again, John Dodson is no joke. So it's worth watching. Before you get to the main card, though, if you don't want to order it, just watch Nate Marco versus Hector Lombard. It's a huge matchup because it's at 170. I mean, Lombard's making his debut at 170, so we get to see how he fits with the smaller fighters.
Need to get off the Lombard.
And Nate Marquardt might get his walking papers too on this fight.
He just came back.
Yeah, and he might leave again. So
he just got back.
No, you think the loser will get walkie papers?
No, yeah, I think this is
wow.
Because
I'm telling you,
there's no place for him to go anymore.
I'm telling you, when they have these fights, they should just put like a contract on top of the octagon, and then when they win, they lower down the contract, and then sign for a new
instead of the
3-8 fight extension.
He comes out with a piece of paper in the pin. Yeah,
you get 2 more fights here in the UFC,
and then back to the main card. I probably think this is going to be the fight of the night. I think I'm gonna stamp this as fight of the night. It's Gilbert Melendez versus Diego Sanchez. Wow,
I don't want to think.
We didn't even talk about that fight.
That's what I'm telling you.
There's too
Diego
much to talk
has
about.
heart.
Fight of the night. I'm telling you.
Gilbert, when he wants to, and when the other opponent does, he brings it.
No, that's why I'm saying. It's going to be mind blowing. Yeah.
Diego's going to go through his punches straight to his face.
I hope so. But either way, it should be a great fight. I also want to point out one fight on the Facebook cards. Our former guest, Mike Rios, going to be on the card against Tony Ferguson, who won the season, I think, 14 or whatever season Brock Lesnar.
You know what's funny?
Yeah, was the coach.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Rios' nickname is Wolverine, on Instagram, he had like this awesome costume. I swear it was like like authentic costume. It looks so legit, and I mean,
straight
like,
from Hugh Jackman, right?
yeah, and his beard went perfectly with the mask.
Yeah,
and
well, you forget Tony Ferguson's nickname is El Cucuy, so we had the Wolverine versus El Cucuy.
Ooh, I always wanted to
I
see
like
that
that.
matchup.
So let's do the picks.
You want to do from the main card?
I don't have a computer on me, so
we'll do the main card, bottom to top.
no, I think we need to do the prelims.
The whole thing?
Yeah, man, it's that
Okay.
stack. But let's do it real quick because we're
All right.
out of time here.
KJ Noons and George Stropolopoulos.
I got KJ Noons. Saraparopoulos is
He can't
done.
pronounce it, so
No, it's,
I got KJ Noons.
Yeah, KJ Noons. I think he needs to bounce back from his loss to Don Cerrone. Sarah Kaufman and Jessica Ai.
You know I love my girl Sarah.
I got Sarah Kaufman
Yeah,
too.
Sarah Kaufman's a world-class fighter. No disrespect to Jessica Ai, though, but it should be a great
Yeah.
fight.
Hector Lombard.
Like, Nate Marquardt,
Thank you.
Hector Lombard.
Thank you.
I got
Nate
Lightning
Marquardt.
I got Lightning Lombard, Tim Bosch, and CB Dollaway, who's I guess who was supposed to be Luke Rockhold, but he fell out, so CB Dollaway is now stepping in on
Yeah.
short notice.
Yeah.
I think that might be advantage to Tim Bosch, so Tim Bosch.
I'm gonna say CB Dollaway.
I say Tim Boach.
I'm going upset. I'm going upset.
He changed my pick right now.
Now entering the main card, flyweight matchup: John Dodson versus Darren Montague.
I got newcomer Darren Montague.
I'm such a fan favorite. I'm going Darren Montague.
I'm gonna go with John Dodson. I
Just
think he's a little too
just
explosive.
because he's our boy.
Yeah, who knows that maybe UFC jitters might get to him this time, but Montague, world-class fighter. Heavyweight bout, Gabriel
Hater.
Gonzaga gets Sean Jordan.
Gabriel
I like Darren
Gonzaga,
Montague.
the
Yeah,
third
he's a
coming.
Gabriel Gonzaga fan. You
Yeah,
know,
Gabriel
Third
Gonzaga?
coming here comes. Or
I got
fourth,
Sean Jordan.
I lost count.
Who'd you got?
Sean Jordan.
I'll go Gonzaga.
Yeah, I knew it.
Gilbert Melendez against Diego Sanchez.
Diego Sanchez, of
Yes.
course.
Yes,
The dream lives on
Yes.
for me. The dream always lives on for me.
Diego Sanchez.
Daniel Cormier against Roy Nelson.
Daniel Cormier by a beating.
A beating? Wow. Well, yeah, you can't. Nobody's able to finish Roy Nelson,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So,
what I'm saying. He's not gonna
I
knock
think
him
Daniel
out.
Cormier wins, and he brings out Burger King burger for Troy Nelson.
his final burger before it cuts to light heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier as well. Velasquez versus Dos Santos.
Please.
Do we even have to say it?
I closed the laptop. It's
Cain
Velasquez.
Velasquez. Stamp on it. Stamp on it.
I got Cain as well. We shall see how horribly wrong we all are next week, or how incredibly
You know
right
what?
we are.
The only thing I'm scared of is if Cain does lose, all the shit talk from Jason.
First of all, please, this is a kid show
Oh,
friendly.
Yeah.
And
We're going to have to bleep that out.
yeah.
Oliver
But
Steven,
anyways-
get on it. Yeah, that's it for today. And check in next week as we'll have all of our emotions drained, I'm sure, from UFC 166 from top to bottom.
Let's just
Awesome
say
card.
this: we party if we win, and we celebrate for the loss. It's
The
not
loss
really
of a fallen
celebration,
homie
but
or what,
I'm keeping it PG.
All right, so until next week, make sure to follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. We're also on Facebook. Just search us under FiveRoundMMA and like us. We're also on Instagram. Like our photos. Follow us. Follow, like, all that good stuff. Also, check out FiveRoundMMA.com for articles, latest news, and the first place you can get to see our weekly web show. And also check out OvertimeDanSoden.com. We contribute our articles there as well, so I can get all your sports fix. Overtime.com, where we talk sports. And
Well, there's Honey Badger. There's
oh yeah, our sponsors, Honey Badger Performance Energy Drink. Go to drinkhoneyBadger.com. The Madhouse clothing line. Go shop the Madhouse.com. Who else? MMA Victor.
Top-rated MMA.
Top-rated MMA Victor, Fantasy MMA. Go get your picks on for UC 166. I think we might create a pool for that one. We're also working on it. Yep.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, and a big thank you to Top-rated MMA, makers of 100%.
So make sure everybody joins the MMA Victor.
Yeah, Top-rated MMA, makers of 100% American-made MMA apparel. Big thank you to all of our sponsors. Without them, we would be still in a closet doing our podcast, right?
It was a nice closet, though.
Yeah, it was a pretty big closet.
But yeah, just I think our executive producer Guillermo Cita, our sound engineer Steven Roswell, Roswell Records, and Ollie Charlie. Thank everybody for listening.
Cream of the crop.